Boom. Yes, it's been going for a couple seconds. What's up, everybody? It is July 6th, 2025. This is the Grit Squad team call Sunday. Just had our Independence Day here. I believe everybody on the call is an American. Freedom. Freedom's not always free, but hopefully you guys had a great time celebrating. Hopefully friends and family, maybe a picnic, maybe a barbecue, but hopefully you guys had some good family time. I'm excited. I'm fired up for this. I've been over in Sun River this weekend, came over on Thursday. I've been with my family, but this call is something I've been thinking about. Just excited to get the squad together and see everybody and kind of lay out the plan, let everyone know what's going on, get you guys to know each other a little bit better, just kind of build some chemistry. We have a practice Tuesday. I'm going to go over this again, but we don't have a whole lot of time to meet as a team before we get started. So today is going to be a full team program meeting. On Wednesday, we'll do some breakouts. So we'll do some different calls with the three teams. And then there'll be a Tuesday practice in Portland or Forest Grove. Wednesday is actually right after the Zoom call. So if you're writing things down, we might as well get right started into it. So Tuesday is Forest Grove only. So Tuesday from 6 to 8. Tuesday from 6 to 8 in Forest Grove. That's when we will have the Northern Oregon guys meeting at the Visitation Catholic School in Forest Grove. I'll be sending all this stuff out to the chat, but it's just a good habit to write it down. Wednesday in Medford, there's the Zoom call for everybody, 6 to 7. And then from 7 to 9, our Southern Oregon players are meeting and then going through stuff. So if you're in Southern Oregon, try to be at the courthouse at 6. They have some Wi-Fi where you can use your, I don't know, people run out of data. I don't even know. Is that a thing anymore? Like you guys use data on your phones, and if you have to, you can get on the Wi-Fi at the courthouse. But we'll go from about 6 to 6:50, 6:55 with our team calls. And then you guys will be practicing down there at the courthouse in Medford, 7 to 9. Friday, Friday, this Friday coming up, we have a game and practice. What? Yeah, game and practice. So we're practicing from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and that's in Forest Grove. So 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock in Forest Grove. We don't know our game times for Friday night yet. We will know them Tuesday evening, at worst Wednesday morning. I'll say that again. Tuesday, Portland, Northern Oregon players that can make it from Roseburg. We're meeting at Visitation Catholic School 6 to 8. Wednesday night, everybody's on Zoom 6 to 7, 7 to 9 at the courthouse in Medford. Friday, 1 to 3, Forest Grove, Visitation Catholic. Games that evening, TBD on the time, to be determined. If you guys didn't get that acronym, to be determined, or TBA, to be announced. Okay, so we don't know game times yet. I know a lot of people are wanting to know from Southern Oregon about hotels. The best I can say is I think we'll be in Beaverton. I can't guarantee that yet. We'll know Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning. So if you're wanting to, this is something and you can share this with your parents if you're not paying attention or this is above your level of being able to communicate with your parents. But Tuesday night, Wednesday morning at the worst, we'll know where we play on Saturday, Friday and Saturday probably. So, yep, Kale, what do you got, bud? You got a question?
Are we staying in hotel like with teammates or with our families?
Great question. So you're welcome to stay with your family. So what some people are going to do is on Tuesday, as soon as we get the schedule, they're going to decide where to book. As soon as if you want to stay together with other Southern Oregon players, that's fun, and we could send out a message. So you're not required to stay anywhere. You're welcome to, like, if your parents, if everybody wants to talk about it Wednesday, we have a parent chat. So all of your parents are in a chat. So we have you can communicate Wednesday if you guys wanted to stay in the same place Friday and Saturday night, or you can just book it on your own. But there's not a required hotel to stay at.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Yeah, for sure. So if they want to book together, you want to wait to hear where people are staying or where we're playing. I think it's going to be the Beaverton Hoop, but I can't promise that until we see the schedules. And then Sunday, so it'll be one game Friday, two Saturday, one, two, or three on Sunday. We won't know game times or schedules until Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. So I'm telling you guys that. So what you guys need to do is when you get off this call, tell your parents that. Okay? Because not that I can't handle text messages, but if you can type it into AI or Google it, or if it was already communicated to you, try to solve it. I mean, you guys can always reach out to me. I don't want this to sound like you can't message me if you're confused on something, but we also have an Ask Three, then Ask Me. What's that mean, coach? That means if you have a question about something, talk to two of your teammates. If they don't know, ask a third. If that teammate doesn't know, then you can reach out to me. But that's just the way, like, if you don't know something, I'd probably ask Tyler. Tyler seems to know a lot of shit, man. So if I was like not sure what to do or who to talk to or what's going on, Tyler's been in the program. He played with us in the spring. Zach's been in the program. So if you're confused or you're like, well, I don't know what to do, I don't know. When's the schedule come out? So just so you guys know, if any of you guys text me and ask me when the schedule comes out, not gonna, I mean, I'm not gonna be, you might be doing some cardio and some push-ups because I've said it about 5 times already. But no, like I said, I don't want you to think you can't reach out to me. But if it's something that you can type into Google and it'll tell you, then try that first. If that's still confusing, ask a teammate. But that's part of growing up, you guys. That's part of being a man. And I think all of us here on this call want you guys to be men. I want you to be a man, but you're not there yet. And you got to do some of this stuff first to get yourself closer to being a man. So if you can't communicate, if you can't solve problems, those aren't great skills. So we got a guest here, Maggie Miner, saying hi. Wave, Mags. Look at all those kids. So, yep, this is Maggie. You might see her at a game sometime. She's 7. She is a bundle of energy. So the ask three, then ask me is a great policy that I learned. But like I said, don't feel like you can't reach out, but I'd talk to Tyler because he knows a lot of the stuff that's going on. You guys are in a big group chat. All the players are in the chat. We have to figure a few things out as far as there's one player that doesn't have iMessage. So we might bot every chip in or because and it's not like I work for Apple, but it makes it more difficult, because like you can only have 20 people in a group chat if one of them doesn't have an iPhone. If you add somebody, you have to restart the whole chat. It's Apple's way of trying to do a monopoly. I don't like it, but it's there, and so we're gonna have to figure something out. But I want everybody to be able to communicate with each other. Maybe we'll have smaller individual team player chats, but right now we have everybody in a group chat. So we'll work on that. Coach Willis, Coach Jesse, I don't want to be the only one here speaking. So we will introduce what this acronym is. And if I were you guys, I'd write it down because we will remind you at practices if you don't. And that's kind of like hassling me over stupid questions. You might run if you can't remember what GRIT's an acronym for. But Coach Willis, are you able to give us a little? If you guys weren't at the gym the other night, this guy brought some heat with his post game or post practice message. But Coach Willis, what's up?
What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite host, Coach John Willis from the Juice Box. That's my podcast entry. How's everybody doing? Good. Okay. I'm going to give you a nugget today. The G for GRIT stands for gratitude. Write that down. Make sure you write that down because I know my good buddy Coach Miner will ask you on the spot what does grit mean. So you know the G stands for gratitude. Looking forward to working with everybody. Thanks to those who came out with the team with Maui. So looking forward to everybody and playing this weekend. So that'll be great. As always, if there's anything I can do to help you, please reach out. And I'm looking forward to helping everybody get better this summer.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. So definitely, you're welcome to reach out. But if it's something you can Google, John's not as smart as Google, you guys. He's more inspirational. He makes me want to run through a wall more than Google, but he also doesn't know what the time zone is, what time it is at the UTC right now.
Nope.
UTC is +9 from Pacific Daylight Time. It's one of my things. I'm like, no, it's not PST right now. It's PDT. Sorry, I digress a little bit, but there is two different things: Pacific Standard Time and Pacific Daylight Time. Okay. Anyways, um, the so Kale, I'm going to ask you unmute. What does the G in grit stand for?
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Okay. Thank you for answering that one. Not that I was worried, but I wanted to make sure we got that. So everybody, because that's a big one for me, being thankful. Nobody's too cool to be appreciative of what we've been given. If you think it's not cool to say thank you or I love you to your mom or dad, you're wrong. Like, show gratitude, mean it, and see what happens. Your life will change. Slow down, say thank you, mean it, and see what happens. See how that changes things. So instead of just saying thanks, mom, when she makes you dinner, say, hey, mom, you know what? Like, you don't have to do this. There's lots of moms that don't. So I just want to say thank you because I really do appreciate the fact that you give me food and prepare it. And maybe if you got that mom and she starts to tear up right then, you say, yeah, but I eat it because I have to. It's not like, something humorous to keep her from just getting too emotional, but say thank you and mean it, you guys. The R, Coach Jesse. Coach Jesse, I'm going to call on you. What's the R for, and what's that mean to you?
Resiliency.
Talk a little bit about what resiliency, I'd be writing this down. What does resiliency mean, Coach?
For me, it's being consistent and whether things are good or whether things are bad, having consistency through the ups and downs allows you to be resilient. For example, there may be a game that you play and you're one of the scorers on the team and you're not going to score as much because you can't find it and put it into the hoop. Being resilient is doing something different that game and putting your teammates above yourself and helping others win the game. And so being resilient is being able to also control your thoughts. Anything in life has to do with how you think You think about the games that you could throw the ball up in the air and it would go into the hoop versus the time that it doesn't. A lot of it has to do with your mentality and your thoughts and how you are able to control that. So being resilient is through the ups and downs of the roller coaster, trying to stay right there level no matter what the circumstance is.
I love that. I hadn't really thought about that. Consistency is a great thing. Because if you get knocked, it's easy to be a good team when everything's going your way. But how do you handle adversity? How do you handle getting punched in the face? Like being resilient, that's that consistency. And I also like that you said controlling your thoughts. Thoughts become things. TBT. I heard Coach Willis, not throwback Thursdays, not the basketball tourney. Thoughts become things. Think about that. Think about that. Write it down, maybe even. I wrote it down. Shoot. Thoughts become things. So, what are you putting in your mind? What are you reading? What are you listening to? What's motivating you? What type of music do you listen to? Think about that stuff, you guys. Like, if you're putting that in your mind, pretty soon that's going to be coming out of you. So, thoughts become things. TBT, thoughts become things. Before you can do it, you have to think it. So I heard Coach Willis talk about that the other night when we were playing Maui. So thoughts become things. So guard your thoughts. Protect what you think about. I know that's kind of a different thought, but protect what you think about. Don't let garbage in. Boats sink because of the water that gets in them, not what's around them. Boats don't sink because of what's around them. Boats sink when water gets in them. So don't let what's outside your control influence you. If you can't control it, Coach Lunt, he's listening, he's in the gym, he's on the call, but Pacific University has 4 core values. One of them is circle of control. If you can't control it, don't spend your time or energy stressing over it. The weather. You bitching about the weather is not going to make it change. If you can't control it, don't stress over it. So that's one of them. I'll just give you all 4 so that way you guys know. Circle of control, continuous improvement. Get a little better every day. Every day. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. I don't believe in just staying the same. You're either getting a little better or a little worse. So continuously improve. Program first. I love that core value of Pacific's men's basketball. What are you doing to put your teammates first? Not just your teammates, but your coaches. And it's not team first, it's program first. That's something that with grit, you guys have to understand. This is a program. It's not 3 individual teams. Program first is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than one team. It's grit. It's the program first. Same thing at Pacific. You're putting your teammates, your coaches. If you guys are out drinking or smoking or not going to class, not getting good grades, that's not putting this program first, you guys. Because if you guys go out, wherever you go, you represent grit. And I know some teams say that, oh, you play for the name on the front. Well, yeah, you're playing for grit, but you're also going to play for the name on the back of the jersey. So you don't just play for the name on the front. You're representing your family. You're representing your last name when you step on the floor. So you have to think about that. Think a little bit different. And the 4th one for Pacific, just in case you're wanting to take notes and I want to complete this, Mamba mentality. Mamba mentality. So the Mamba mentality, I hope you guys know about the Mamba mentality, but that's being the best version of yourself every day when you show up. You don't show up and half-ass things. You don't show up and just go through the motions. You don't just coast. You don't be average, because average is as close to the bottom as it is the top. So what are you doing every day that's going to get you a little better? So comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. So don't compare yourself to other people. Don't. Don't compare you to your best self. Compare you to how you were yesterday. If you're getting better every day, who cares if you're not the best? You can't control that. Like people are like, well, I want to know how much I'm going to play. Well, two things, how hard you work and who else we recruit. That's for college. That's the number one answer I give when kids say, well, how much am I going to play? Well, how hard you work between now and then and who else we recruit will determine that. You could work your ass off and still not have to play very much because I go recruit kids that do everything you do that are 6'9". But if I told you that you're going to be a starter in my program, and then I go out and recruit somebody that's 6'9" that does everything you do and better, that puts me in a tough spot. So that's where I don't promise playing time. I don't promise starting spots. It's the same thing we did when I was full-time at Pacific coaching. It's what you get is what you earn. You eat what you kill. Don't expect to show up at the table and eat if you're not bringing anything to the table, fellas. Like, what are you bringing to the table? Hard work's just a ticket to admission. That doesn't mean you're going to get to eat yet. That doesn't mean you're going to get to eat. You got to bring something to the table. And I mean, I have a lot of these analogies, but think about that. Like, if you just show up and you aren't bringing something, yeah, you're going to work hard. That doesn't mean you're going to get to start. I was the hardest working kid on my college team. And how many games did I start? 0. I was the hardest working player, but also the least talented. That's hard. That's a hard spot to be in when you're the hardest working player, but you're not getting what you think you deserve. And I feel like for me, I got pretty close to my ceiling and my potential as a player, and I never started a college basketball game. But I had an incredible experience because I bought into my role. And that's what I'm hoping all of you guys will do on your team this summer is buy into your role. Everybody's role is different. And I say 3 things. You got to know your role, accept your role, which is usually the hardest to accept your role, and then excel at your role. Know it, accept it, excel at it. And then it grows. Bitch, mope, pout, complain, think you should be the one that's scoring 30 every game, think that you're getting screwed by the coaches, then your role will shrink. And that's okay. I hope everybody has a great experience coming out of this. I really do. But at the end of the day, some of that you have to take on your own to make it a great experience. If you don't engage, if you don't buy in, that's okay. You just won't have as good of experience. And then you're going to feel like you didn't get what you wanted out of this. But what we're going to ask you to do is be a part of a program. And this is different. Some of you guys have played on other AAU teams. I don't even say we're an AAU team. How many AAU tournaments are we playing this summer? Same number of games I started. We're not playing any AAU tournaments. We're playing in club level, elite basketball tournaments, but they're not AAU. They're not AAU sanctioned or certified. So do we have to call ourselves? It's more of a club and a program. And so it's different than what you guys have been a part of, probably, if you have been in other systems. But I think what we're doing is a little bit unique in that it is program first. We talk about experience and development. Most AAU teams, if you get on their call, they're talking about how much exposure they're going to get you in Kansas City. And if you think that that's the best way to get exposure, spend $4,000 flying to Kansas City to play in a tournament. I don't know, but I don't want to hype that up as far as that's what you're going to get out of grit. What? Well, how can you say that? Well, because my main priority is experience and development. And you know how exposure comes? You guys know John Willis used to be a head college basketball coach. You know, he's been an assistant basketball coach at the college level for a long time. You don't think he knows a lot of coaches? Justin Lunt, the head coach for the Pink Squad for Grit, has been a head college coach 20 years. 20 years. Head. head college coach without missing a year. He was at Puget Sound for 12 years as their head coach. He was like 25 years old, calling timeouts at the college level. 12 years he was there, won a conference championship, went undefeated, was offered D1 coaching jobs. Lorenzo Romar at UW wanted him on his staff. And you know what? Like, he stayed at the D3 level. He's still a head coach, and he has a little bit better life work balance because D1 is like 70, 80 hours a week. I'm not saying Coach Lunt doesn't work hard. He works probably about that because he doesn't eat or sleep because he's kind of a machine. You'll see if you guys get to know him, but you don't think he knows some coaches that he could call? I've been a college coach about 17 years. You don't think there's coaches that John could call and that they would answer? And that's, I think, the best way to get, you don't need exposure to a bunch of places that they're not going to recruit you. And that's why when people ask me, hey, Coach Miner, I know you know Coach K and John Shire and those guys, can you call and put in a good word for me? No. I like you. I like everybody on this team. And I don't know. I haven't seen Andy play yet, but I mean, maybe, but I haven't used that phone call yet. When Coach K said, hey, Coach Miner, when you find the next Kyle Singler out there in Oregon, you better let me know. Here's my cell. You know how many times I've called Coach K about kids? None. I did call Nolan Smith, who was his assistant at the time, about Kyle or Nate Biddle, and just to say, hey, this kid's I've been working with quite a bit. He's a pretty good player, and maybe evaluate. And they passed, right? But it wasn't like I'm gonna stick my neck out. Nate Biddle's kind of an outlier because he's 7 foot tall. No one on this call is 7 foot tall. So I'm going to give you 3 things that you guys can do to improve your chances of playing in college. Get better grades, stay out of trouble, and get around good friends. None of that has to do with putting the ball in the bucket. Those are 3 things that you can do fairly easily, hopefully, that can give you a better chance. Obviously, you got to get better at basketball, everybody on this call. But if you get good grades, that gives you more options. If you stay out of trouble, that gives you more options. If you get around good friends, then you're going to have your actions closer in alignment with your goals. And I think most of you guys want to play college basketball. That will be an assignment that we're giving where you fill out your goals, but I don't know that yet. So maybe some of you guys just want to play high school or maybe play baseball in college or something, and that's okay. Then your goals are different. So then your actions will be different. And that's okay. But get yourself around people that have similar goals. Okay, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit right now, preaching at you guys, but I want you guys to understand that this is a little bit unique, what we're doing, what we're trying to do. So that's why it is program first. We might switch up which division we're playing second, third weekend. We might ask you to play for a team. Like, shit, stuff happens, you guys. Like, I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourselves here in a second. We have about 40 or 25 minutes, but just for an example, like one of our players got a wrist, broke his wrist, like still here, still showing up, but that's a bummer. So now we're gonna have to shuffle a little bit. But this is a team. I know we haven't finished our acronym yet, and don't think that T is team, because if you do, you'll be running. But this is a togetherness. We're together in this, so we might have to ask you to play up a level or two. And I know Cooper Billups is hurt your wrist, but still showing up. I know you feel bad, and I know you're excited. And he goes to IMG Academy, you guys. So if you don't know Cooper goes to IMG Academy in Florida, plays down there, has trained all year, played there, was coming in Portland now, hanging out with Hoop Dreams, Combino Memory. Had this whole month. He was going to stay in Portland this month and then go back to Florida, but now he's got a broken wrist, going to see the doctor, I think tomorrow, about it. So we're gonna scramble. We're not gonna scramble, but we're gonna bump somebody up to because he is on the 16U squad. So we're gonna have one of our younger players bump up, and Cooper. I feel terrible, but it's one of those things that happens. It's like it's just part of life. The more you play, the longer you live, the more injuries you're gonna have, and so it sucks. But your best days are still ahead of you for sure, and you can get bitter, or you can work on your legs and work on your offhand and keep yourself mentally right, because that's the thing that's the worst part of injuries is not the physical most of the time, it's the mental. What do you mean by that? Well, I got hurt, and you start to go into dark places, you get a little depressed, you start feeling sorry for yourself, you stop working out your legs, you stop working out the other hand, and then all of a sudden when your hand or your wrist or your whatever's hurt heals, you're worse than you were when you hurt it because you give up. And so you get faced with choices every day. You can give up or you can get better. And I hope it just motivates you. A minor setback for a major comeback. But that's just an example. Something like that happens. Program first, you're all in this together. We're going to rally around you, Cooper, and hopefully you can still show up at the games and be a part of this thing this summer, because I think we will talk about the mental next call too, the mental training that you'll be doing, but I think that can really help differentiate you guys from the other players. Tyler, I'm gonna ask you to unmute because you went through the mental training this spring. Give just a 10 to 15 second, like what was your takeaway of that, and what would you recommend to the players, or how did it help you, I guess?
Um, I think it's more about just being aware of things that kind of hinder your performance. And the thing that I would recommend if you haven't done it before is just take the time and don't be scared to like watch something twice and really think about it.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah. There's like 60 to 90-second videos. I know Zach saw them, Kaysen did them, Mitch did them. So there's a lot of really good stuff that you'll get out of those. He's Colin's pretty relatable, pretty charismatic guy that does the videos. Zach, I'm gonna call on you. Zach played with us this spring, got a chance to learn from those videos. What was your takeaway from the mental training, Zach?
For me, a big thing was like catching my breath during high pressure moments, before and especially during games, and also just like uh, filtering like thoughts and having positive self-talk.
Thoughts become things. Good job, Zach. Thank you. Okay. I know I want to get everybody to say at least something that can. So I'm going to start calling on people. But before we do that, we're going to go through the I. The I. Coach Willis, can I pass you the ball back to tell us about the I? Because he knew I was about to get on his ass for not having his phone the right way. Coach Willis, give us the I.
Intensity.
What does intensity mean to you, Coach Willis?
It's the way we do things. It's a championship way of doing things. We do things at a high level. How you do anything is how you do everything. So we want to be intense. We want to be. When I hear that, it's giving our all. It describes the level of effort in our approach. So it's not jogging back because we may have missed a shot, right? Or because we wanted a foul call and we didn't get it, so we don't make it back to half court, right? While the other team's going the other way. So it's how we block out. It's how we go rebound the ball. It's how we complete, the videos and the study materials for our mental toughness. So it's our approach to the way we do business.
Intensity. There's not many people that will, if you talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, I know Coach Willis. I don't know many people that would say, oh, he's kind of, or he's just kind of lukewarm. Hmm. Most people I know that know Coach Willis are like, oh damn, you know Coach Willis? That guy's passionate. That guy's intense. I'd rather be thought of as a little overly intense than a little bit passive, or just you know what? The intense, hardworking guy kicks the cool guy's ass. And sometimes we talk about that oh, it's not cool to play really hard. That's a fallacy. That's false. Playing hard is the only way. When we play in practice, I want you guys to kick each other's ass. Like you come to a Pacific practice, you'll think those guys hate each other because they're getting after each other. But that competition, you hug when you exit the lines, but between the lines in practice, it's a battle. You're competing. Pooh Jeter, best player I ever played with. Played in the NBA, played until he was 40 in the G League, played for the Sacramento Kings, and played with Scoot Henderson. Now he's the Blazers player development coach. He's 5'10", played until he's 40 professional basketball. I fouled him a lot in practice. I'll be honest. He was way better at basketball. I'm 6'2" with long arms, but I couldn't guard him. So I had to foul him. But you know what? I wanted the practices to be harder than the games for Pooh. And the thing is, Pooh's the type of guy that's a great teammate, and he knew that, even though there's times like we'd start pushing a little bit or, scratches on each other, but we'd always dap each other up, give each other a big hug after practice, and go hang out in the cafeteria. And then we would hang out in the dorms at night, watching TV and playing video games, and then we would get after it. And then when he drops 26 when we beat Gonzaga, it's no big deal because it was harder in practice than it was in the games because they didn't foul him all the time in games. So we want you guys to compete and be intense. And that's just when you show up, like that's a way you can differentiate yourself as top. Like when I was in college, when we played Duke, like they were just the loudest, most insane environment. Like some of that feeds off the crowd that was there, but not just that. I bet you if we would have played Duke in an empty gym, they would have been yelling just as loud, been just as intense, been just as in your face. It's almost like just like take it. Like I was not scared, but it was like just like talking. You don't know what to say, tell a teammate where to go, help a teammate out. Just that's a way that you can differentiate yourself. Everybody on this call, because that's one of the things that I've heard about players is like, oh, they lead by example. Well, lead by example and lead by your voice. It's not enough just to lead by example. At a certain point, you got to be able to vocalize and you have to lead by example to lead vocally. You can't lead vocally and not lead by example. Because if you're the one that's saying, touch the line, but you don't touch the line, no one's going to listen to you, right? But if you're the one that touches the line, leading by example, and somebody else doesn't touch the line, step up and call them out. That's being a good teammate. Coach Lunt said it the other night to you guys. Being a good teammate doesn't mean you're always giving high fives and patting them on the butt. Same thing with being a good coach. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be the first one there giving you high fives when you're doing what you should be doing. But if you don't do what you should be doing, I'm going to tell you because I care about you guys. And it'd be easier just to let shit go. But that's not the right way to do it because that doesn't make you better. So we're going to call you guys out when we see you doing things wrong. And that's because we care. When we stop hollering at you, that's because we've given up. And that's the worst place to be. But I'm looking at everybody on this call. I've talked to all of you guys. And I know that some of you play for Willis, some will play for Lunt, some will play for Coach Jesse. But I've got to talk to all of you guys. And I think that vocally and leading by example, you can do it. Every one of you's got a voice. And use it. Because if you don't, you're wasting it. It's kind of like there's no difference between not knowing how to read and not reading. So if you're not reading books, does it really matter that you can read? Think like if you're not reading and there's somebody that can't read, end game the same. Or what are you digesting? I listen to audiobooks. If you guys don't know about Libby, it's a free app. You have to get a library card. You have to get a library card, but it's free. And you can download audiobooks for free. You have to have a library card. So some of you guys on this call didn't know that you used to be able to check out books from the library, but you'd have to have a library card. But now you can check out audiobooks. listen to them at your own. I mean, some of them it takes a long time to get up because you got to get on a waiting list because the library only has a certain number of audio copies that they can distribute. But it's called Libby, Libby. And I've listened to, I just got done listening to Simon Sinek, Start with Why. Great read. Took about 7 hours, but it was definitely a great listen. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna call on somebody to tell us the T. Sniper, wet ball, Kaysen, Lariz. Kaysen, tell us what. Kaysen's been with us a couple years now. If you mess this up, Kaysen, I'm gonna be really pissed off. What's the T?
Togetherness.
Togetherness. Good job. Togetherness, like I said, it's one program, top to bottom. Doesn't matter whether you're going to be a freshman or you're going to be a freshman in college. Everybody's going to be a part of this thing this summer. If you don't want to be involved and engaged, that's on you. But there is a lot that can be learned from all the way from Dylan. Dylan Trebetsky is headed off to play in college this fall. So there's some of you guys that haven't even been in high school yet. So if I was you guys that were going to be in high school, I would be asking Dylan questions because he's got a really cool story. He's going to school in Michigan. He's going to play basketball in Michigan next year. So it's not like, and then there's Zach Eddy, who's on his way back from Central Oregon, who's playing, and he's headed to Pacific this fall. Justin Hahn is headed up tonight to play for Pacific at Summer League. So he's not on the call, but he's heading to play for Coach Lunt this fall also. So we have guys that are going to be playing this fall. So they're kind of where you guys that are younger want to be, I would think. So the chance to be around these guys in practice, talk to them about their journey. For Dylan, it says a lot that he's showing up to this. I think he knows that it's going to help get him ready for showing up in Michigan to play at Calvin. But it's just cool you're playing because most people are like, oh, well, you can't play summer if you're a senior that's going to play in college. Well, you can. Most don't. Most coaches probably wouldn't want their players to because they're worried they're going to get recruited somewhere else. And if they say they're worried about the kid getting hurt, I think that's a bunch of bullshit because they could get hurt doing anything, you know. And if they're gonna be playing, so that's why Coach Luntz having those guys that are coming to Pacific play with us. Obviously, if it helps make us a better team, and they're gonna learn a little bit about what Coach Lunt means when he says different things, and they're gonna be better prepared stepping on campus this fall. Okay, I think I said I was gonna pass it around, and I hadn't yet. So we're gonna move the ball. Here's what you're going to do. I'm going to pass it to you. You're going to say your name, your grade, your school, and your favorite basketball memory. It can be as a player, as a watcher, as a whatever. Okay. So I'm going to call. You got to be ready to unmute, say your name, your grade, your school, and your favorite basketball memory or moment. Okay, here we go. I'm going to pass it off. First of all, Coach Joel Jesse. Coach Joel Jesse, I'm passing it to you because I'm just excited to hear what you got to say.
All right. I'm Coach Joel Jesse. I went to Grants Pass High School. I just finished coaching at Grants Pass High School, and my favorite basketball memory. We were just coming out of COVID, and I was the head coach at Hidden Valley High School for the girls. And we won the first ever state championship as a team. So that's my favorite. That's my favorite accomplishment, even from playing. Coaching is a lot more fun, in my opinion, because I get to help other kids be a better version of themselves. It's a little bit more rewarding as a player. I'm completely opposite of what I am as a coach. I really value the defensive side of the ball. And in high school, I just jacked up a lot of shots, and I wish I would have had a coach like myself that taught me how to play the complete game. And that's my favorite memory is the things that we did as a team to accomplish that, because there was a lot of sacrifices on that team. I had 3 Division 1 players on my team, but none of them were basketball players. They were all track and field players, track and field people that went to OSU and Stanford. So
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. So that's my favorite memory. And so in it's my turn to pass the ball, correct, Coach Miner?
Pass it on, Joel.
Brian Nunez, you're up, my friend.
D-Dog, let's go.
My name is Brian Nunez. I'm going into 9th grade at North Medford High School. And my favorite basketball memory is probably like in 7th grade when they do these state tournaments and my team ended up winning it in 7th grade.
Let's go. Where was that held at?
It was in Salem.
Salem. Nice. Okay, who you passing it to, Brian? Pass it off.
Uh,
Somebody you don't
Braden.
know.
Oh,
Somebody you
okay.
don't know. Not another North Medford kid. Call a name.
Brandon Lee.
Mr. Lee, let's go.
My name is Brandon. I'm going into 10th grade and I go to school at North Clackamas Christian School. My favorite memory is probably starting on varsity last year and breaking the scoring record for the freshmen.
What was that? What number? How many did you put up in a game?
Well, it was like the whole season, like
Oh,
total points
season.
for the
Okay.
season.
What
Yeah.
was your one single game high, Brandon?
I think I had 25 in a game.
Solid. Nice. Who are you passing it to? Somebody you don't know.
AJ Zimmerman.
AJ. You got the ball. What do you got?
Yo, what's up? My name's AJ Zimmerman, and I'm going for sophomore year. I go to St. Mary's High School. My favorite basketball memory is I got to sit courtside behind the Ducks when Peyton Pritchard's on the team.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. How'd you get those tickets, AJ?
Well,
Who do you
so our
know?
neighbor, his mom is so his daughter or his son is the assistant coach for the Ducks. So that's Josh.
Josh Jameson, I bet.
Yeah, Josh Jameson. So yeah.
See that? It sounded kind of like he wasn't wanting to divulge where he got those tickets. It sounded like he was scrambling.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, my
Yeah.
neighbor, he was not wanting me to know that it was Josh Jameson who hooked him up. No, I'm joking, AJ.
Sure.
I know Josh pretty well.
Yeah, he's cool.
The Medford guy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Who you passing it to?
Elijah Coleman.
All right, I'm Elijah. I'm a junior at Westside, and my favorite memory is probably the Seaside tournament for my summer team that we won a few weeks
This
ago.
summer.
Yes, this summer for Westside.
I love that. Team camps, I mean, because some people celebrate victories, like they remember the championships, but I know I'm the type that I do remember beating Gonzaga and Oregon State, but I remember like the hotels after the games and the flights and the airports, and that's cool. I like that, Elijah. Coach Willis, did you have something you wanted to chime in on with your West Side connection?
That's right. He is part of the world heavyweight champion, West Side High School, baby. State champs, baby. Just wanted to make sure you got that correct.
Make sure everyone put a little respect on his name
Yeah.
because West Side Christians, the Eagles. Eagles?
Yeah, Eagles.
Right.
State
Fly high,
champion.
baby.
Eagles fly. They don't fly with pigeons, though. If you see an eagle in flight, they are not with pigeons. If you haven't heard Coach Willis talk about pigeons and eagles, you haven't been around long enough. Elijah, who you passing it to?
Alex Post.
Alex Post.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a rising junior at Valley Catholic. And my favorite basketball memory is probably when we beat Jefferson, which is a 6A team. And me and Tyler Eddy, he's also on this team, we combined for like 50. It was really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mr. Eddy. Okay, Tyler Eddy. Nice. Thanks, Alex. Who you passing it to?
Dylan Trubetsky.
probably knew him because you guys went to the same school, but I will allow it.
Okay, I can
Alex,
choose.
you just owe me about 10 push-ups. Dylan, go for it.
I'm Dylan. I'm going to be a freshman at Calvin University in Grand Rapids, Michigan, as Coach Miner said. And my favorite basketball memory was participating in the state basketball tournament both my junior and senior year. We got third in state both years, but it was just cool to participate in something like that.
Who got you in your junior year? Who beat you in the semis?
We lost to Cascade Christian, who had like a 7-footer who's playing D1, Austin Maurer, and they had a 4-star freshman who's playing at a prep school in Texas. So they're pretty good. But we were actually their closest game they've played in like 3 years. I think we only lost by like 7, but we were down
Nice.
by like 2 at one point. So it was a pretty good game.
That's
That's
cool.
Avery Houston, Coach Miner. You can
Oh
tell him
yeah,
a little
I
bit
knew the
about that.
reference. I knew
Yeah.
that kid. Dylan, I don't know if Dylan knows that I was there the day Avery was born. Um, he's my nephew, not my he's my nephew, one of my best friend's sons. So yeah, and then Maurer, I think we'll get to hear a little more from the Cascade Christian side of the room here. But Dylan, who you passing it to?
I'll pass it to LJ Leland.
LJ Leland. What do you got?
My name is LJ Leland. I'm a sophomore, and I'm going to Wilsonville High School. And my favorite basketball memory would probably be when I put up 15 points off the bench in one of my first varsity games against Springfield High School at home.
Nice. Awesome, LJ. You played with Biddle and who else was on your Grant, right? Grant was on that team.
Yeah, I played with Kyle and Julian. Yeah.
And what's Grant's first? Julian Grant.
Yeah, Julian.
Nice. Good job, LJ. Who are you passing it to?
Let's do Andy.
Andy.
Hi, my name is Andy Alvarez. I'm going to be a sophomore at Cascade Christian, and my favorite basketball memory is probably coming back and beating Ashland when we were down, I believe, 16 points with about 4 minutes left.
Nice. Those comebacks always memorable. Always memorable. But you were a freshman this year, right? So did you go to Grace or did you go to middle school?
Yeah, I went to middle school at Cascade.
So you knew the Mowers and the Houston connection there.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great, Andy. Who are you passing it off to?
I'm gonna pass it to Max Thompson.
Max, you're up.
Hi, my name is Max Thompson. I'm going into freshman year at Grants Pass High School, and my favorite basketball memory would probably hitting a game winner against Ash AAU game. It was a free throw floater.
Down one?
Yeah, that one.
Tied. Down one. Okay. Nice. Well done. All right, Max, who you passing it to?
Cale Murphy.
I'm Kale Murphy. I'm a junior and I'm at South Medford High School. My favorite basketball memory would be going to a Portland tournament in middle school with my school team. They had this big pool with a bunch of diving boards and a big hotel. And we kind of ran around and acted a fool and swam and threw footballs. And the games were also really fun. We lost all of them, but they were really talented teams, and we only lost by a little bit, and it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Was that with the South Medford team?
Yeah, it was a eighth grade. It wasn't an AAU. It was ran by the current JV coach at South.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really fun.
We gotta find out what pool this is that has multiple diving boards because might need to plan a little excursion there.
Yeah.
See what you can find out. All right, Kale, who you passing it to?
I'll pass it to Kaysen Lariz.
Kaysen Lariz.
I'm Kaysen Lariz. I'm gonna be a senior and I'm going to Forest Grove High School. My favorite basketball memory was last year. We were down 22 at half against McMinnville. and we came back and won in overtime.
I remember that. You hit some big shots. I wish Caleb was on the call to see what he had to say about that. But yeah, that was down 22 at half and came back. Let's go. Forest Grove, Vikings. Who you passing it to, Jason?
Braden Chin.
Hey, I'm Braden Chin. I'm going into my junior year at North Medford High School, and I think my favorite basketball memory is just like we went to the Oregon team camp and staying in the dorms and just experiencing the Oregon campus is just super fun, and I got to do it with all my teammates.
Nice. That's cool. All right, Braden, who you passing it to?
I'm gonna pass it to Cooper Gagnon.
Cooper Gagnon.
Hey, I'm Cooper Gagnon. I'm going to be a junior at Hidden Valley High School. And I would say my favorite basketball memory is winning Staten in a playing game last year. And then the bus ride home too is super fun. Tons of energy.
That's awesome. Nice. All right, Cooper, who you passing it to?
Mitch Marion.
Mitch.
I'm Mitch Marion. I'm gonna be a senior at Cleveland High School, and my favorite basketball memory is playing in like a weird back gym at the Oregon campus. It was like really loud and really fun.
Nice. I see that you capitalized the M's in that, put a little respect on his name. Mitch, who you passing it off to?
I'm gonna pass it to Luke Towsley.
Luke.
Hi, I'm Luke Towsley. I'm going in my freshman year at Grants Pass High School. And my favorite basketball memory is probably beating Sheldon in back-to-back tournaments in the championship. And they like to talk a lot of trash, so beating them was pretty satisfying.
Always fun to beat teams that talk trash.
Yeah.
And the scoreboard is the best line that you can drop. It's like, well, we're playing basketball. I guess I'm better than you. I guess we're, scoreboard, right?
Yeah.
All right, who you passing it to, Luke?
Zach Miller.
Zach.
Hey, what's up? I'm Zach Miller, and I'm gonna be a sophomore at Barlow next year. And my favorite basketball memory is probably like training late nights and early mornings and stuff, like when it's dark outside, like especially outside in the rain because we have a court.
Dedication. I like that. Yeah. I remember a lot of times at my house growing up, I'd have to like sweep off the apron because it'd get water on it. Good stuff. Who you passing it to, Zach?
Um, Wait, who has Ty Zimmerman? Has he gone?
Ty.
No, I haven't. My name is Ty. I go to St. Mary's right now, and I'm going into my senior year. My favorite basketball memory is probably, last season, first game of the season, I had 30 against Coach Willis's team. So, yeah, we did lose, though, by quite a bit. So,
Willis had the
that's
scout,
whatever.
and he said, just let that guy score, shut down the rest of the team, and we'll be fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it.
All right, who you got, Ty?
I'm gonna do Harrison Scott.
Harrison, are you able to speak?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Go for it, Harrison.
All right, my name is Harrison Scott. I'm going into my 12th grade, and I go to Roseburg High School. And my favorite memory is probably just playing with my friends during the summertime, because that's
just playing with your friends in the summer. Is that what you said, Harrison?
yeah, that's what I said. Just playing basketball with them because I got a lot of friends that play basketball, so just spending time with them.
Nice. All right, Harrison. Can you see who else? I don't know if we've had Cooper. Harrison, pass it to Cooper.
All right, Cooper.
I'm Cooper Billups. I go to IMG Academy. I'm going into my 11th grade year, and my favorite basketball memory is probably going to see the All-Star game this year.
Where was that held?
San Francisco.
That's sweet. That's awesome. Did you see any players out and about or anything?
I didn't get to see too many players. I've of course got to watch the matches. I was able to see. LeBron was hurt, Anthony Edwards was hurt, so those two didn't play. But I was able to see like Curry play, James Harden, and all the international players, Doncic. Wembanyama.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Well, I think did we miss anybody? Everybody got Tyler spoke but didn't get to give his memory yet. Here we go. Tyler.
I'm Tyler Latham. I'm gonna be a senior at Lake Oswego High School. And my favorite basketball memory was going to the 2019 Final Four with my dad.
Where was that one at?
Minneapolis.
Nice. The Final Fours are a lot of fun. Coach Willis and I were at the one in Phoenix both years, right, Willis? 2017 and 2024? Four. The Peyton Pritchard year, and then this last year I didn't go, but in 24 was in Phoenix, I believe. Right, John? Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
That is accurate. All right, you guys. Well, we're going on an hour, so I appreciate you guys being here. We will, like I said, make sure. See, I'm keeping good company. If you can't see this little guy peeking in here, he's listening to all of what you guys say. He's got it all right up in here, right in his head. He's got his bed head. He woke up from his nap. But yeah, glad you guys could make it today. If you're watching this on replay, drop me a text right now at this part and let me know your favorite basketball memory. So if you're watching this on replay, this is a test. This is how I know that you are watching it. So this is how I know that you are watching the replay, is that you drop me a message and tell me your favorite basketball memory. That's how I know that you watch this. So if you're live, good job. Remember, Tuesday, Forest Grove, Wednesday, Zoom, and then Medford. And then Friday, 1 to 3. Then we'll play a game that night, and you guys will know. As soon as I know, I'm going to drop it in that main chat. So that way everybody has it. I'll be communicating with you guys. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out to a teammate or two. We will have you guys all drop your names. I'm going to have you guys do a little bit more stuff that you guys will put in that chat. So, so that way you guys we can continue that conversation. All right, Coach Jesse, I see you are back. Anything you want to say before we sign off here today? You can, no worries about the name. It's all good.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Looking forward to practice and competing with you guys this weekend.
What about John Willis?
John Willis, Mandarin High School, Jacksonville, Florida, class 2002.
02.
02, baby.
Kick you in the face until you're blue.
Favorite basketball moment sounded like this. Cole Bosh James. That's right. When he dunked on Jason Terry in the Boston Garden. That's right. No, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
This guy is a LeBron. If you ask him who the greatest player is of all time, he is just so wrong.
Please tell me it's not LeBron James, Willis.
He just gives you statistically backed information. No opinion, no emotion, all facts coming at you like a freight train. That is all.
Hey, Coach Miner, I'm a Laker fan, and I can't even say LeBron's the GOAT. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Coach. That's all right. That opinion just is not based in facts. It's okay. It's all good. It's kind of like saying
crazy Uncle John.
It's kind of like saying your team was better than Westside. You know why? Because Westside the champs.
It'd be like saying that I went to Barlow and I'm the champs because you're both champs, but one's a better champion because they're like, so it'd be like Michael Jordan and LeBron are both like good, but LeBron's not as good, right? Like Jordan's better. So like, yeah, you were state champions, but there was a 4A, there was a 5A, and there was a 6A state champion that we could put into the conversation. And if I was stacking teams up this year in the state of Oregon, I'm going to take Barlow. I'm going to take Barlow, John.
Fine. Take Barlow, coach. It's all right. Take Barlow. I'm still taking
I think Barlow would have got you guys. I can't promise it or guarantee it because it didn't get played, but I don't know. I don't know. Michael Jordan's the GOAT, in case you didn't know. Because if you didn't know,
Now you
now
know.
you know. If you didn't know,
less points, less rebounds, less steals. I mean,
more NBA rings,
yeah, that's
better
a team
mentality.
stat. That's a team
If you
stat.
like a palms up guy, like a guy that's kind of like, oh, whoa, it's me, I got fouled. What? Oh, I like a palms down guy. Like, I got this. I got this. We're not losing in the finals type guy.
I would invite you to watch tape of Michael Jordan then. If you think he
I'm
never
just saying,
complained,
I'm just saying, it's an overarching mentality, not just, yeah, Jordan had some meltdowns and flopped a few times, but that's LeBron's MO. That's who he is.
I
And
just
I'm
could
not saying
only
I don't think
imagine.
it's incredible what he's done because he's had a longevity and he's good at basketball, but he doesn't have the mindset, the mentality. I mean, and maybe he has, but it's just apples and oranges, right? It's like saying
I know.
Stockton. John Stockton played 19 years and missed 22 games total. Load management was not a thing back then.
True. I could just imagine if LeBron quit in the middle of his career and was like, "Oh, this is a little too hard for me right now. I'm gonna walk away."
Yeah,
Like MJ did.
That was pretty hard for him. And then
Did you know that? Did you know that MJ played 13% of his career in a Washington Wizards uniform? But people never like to bring up the fact that he actually played for the Wizards.
What was the reason he left for the Wizards? Did he have? Most people don't know because when LeBron leaves and goes somewhere, he has a whole like TV special and I'm taking my talents to South Beach and give me a break. Give me
Shout
a
out
break.
to
Play the game.
Shout
You're a
out to
freak
raising
human
money for the
being.
Boys
You're
and
good
Girls
at being
Club.
a freak human who happened to play basketball.
Right.
I'm a hater. I get it. All right, you guys, you don't have to listen to the rest of this debate. This is the stuff we do on flights and when we're together. He just crazy mind thing made up that LeBron is better than Jordan. Get out of here. All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. See ya, everybody.